Valentine's Day. Today about love no one really loves. Hand-holding. The most degenerate activity you can do that requires two people. Since it's Valentine's Day, I thought it would make sense to combine the two in a celebration of the single most intimate thing a couple can do. And you may be thinking, what about platonic hand-holding? There is no such thing as platonic hand-holding. Although this is one prevention to start. And let's start this off with the most wholesome, romantic thing I can think of. The Terminator. The favorite moment of this entire franchise is that Sarah Connor and Kylo Reese do something less degenerate than hand-holding, but at the end, they say they've ruined the sanctity of this innocent kid's film and hold hands. This is actually a major plot point, since this is used to symbolize the conception of John Connor, who will go on to save the world until it's retconned in every movie after the second one. This is how babies are born, kids. Tell your friends. And in the Teen Titans cartoon, Starfire is pretty unfamiliar with human customs, slowly picking up on them as she lives on Earth. One thing she picks up on early, though, is the importance of hand-holding. She constantly pesters Robin about it, and Robin, who is a stupid idiot who doesn't know that he's being kidnapped by this wonderful, amazing, beautiful, I'm projecting very hard, well, he doesn't pick up how DTHH Starfire is. There are some times, though, when she gets through to him, and they're glorious. The most notable time is in the movie, where after struggling on thinking Robin doesn't like her for all of the film, finally do the thing the video is about. Epic. And as a talking point once said, you have to wait till marriage, especially when it comes to hand-holding. But obviously this can be hard, even if you're a good Christian boy, or if you really like dragons. Pretty much the entirety of the How to Train Your Dragon series, Jacob and Ash have been together. However, they never sin. That is, until the final movie, where literally during their wedding, they hold hands. I mean, they did say wait until marriage. Nothing said you had to be married. And Kingdom Hearts 2 starts with a 6-minute long intro. Because honestly, an already long game, who wants to actually play the game, am I right? There are several notable scenes in this though. Most notably is this one with the human trio holding hands on the beach. With Sora holding hands is true love. Kirby is also there. And this channel is great because it lets me remind myself how much of a sappy character I was even as a kid. Kim and Ron's relationship in Kim Possible was teased constantly, though it was never confirmed as mutually romantic until the end of the movie. In it, the two finally confess their true feelings for each other. How is this shown to the audience? Well, obviously, Ron forms a 7-hour-long interpretive dance for famous love. No, they hold hands when they go to the dance, and it's amazing. Best film. Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen this. And hand-holding isn't just about love. It's about being there. It's about compassion. In Caution Tiger Head Dragon, when holds Shu Lin's hand, it truly shows mutual understanding and love the two share. Things are hard for Shu Lin, and 9 years after the film was released, it'll get even harder for him. But for now, it's all calm. Not really, he kinda needs to beat up a dude, but for now, his hands on to be used for something more important. And I was expecting ReZero to be one of the most hand-holdy happy animes I've ever seen, but they do it a shocking amount of times. It feels like every other episode. Most of these scenes aren't even that important in the grand scheme. They're just there because, it's hand-holding. Why shouldn't it be there? If I had to pick one though, I'm going with this scene at the end of episode 15. Subaru just saw a future where all of his friends died to a giant weird wolf thing. He then snaps back to reality, and then he holds hands with Rem. Not only is this a cute moment, but it also features Rem, who's out in the thumbnail of this video, because she's one of the biggest waifus out there, and I need people to click on this video somehow. And hand-holding is a very recurring theme in Steven Universe. It's shown for a lot of characters fusing, which if you're unfamiliar in Steven Universe is sometimes basically a personification of how much two people care about each other, so it fits. Yes, it is sometimes supposed to represent sexual relationships, and yes, Steven did fuse with his dad, let's not discuss that. Steven and his love interest, Connie, also do the holding of the hands a lot. Notably in the episode Nightmare Hotel, where they hold hands to stay alive from navigating a hotel. Though they actually do this quite frequently. And you call this show bad. I'm not reading the comments for this video. And Tom and Raya from Dragon Prince had a rocky start to their relationship. It's kind of what starting a relationship with attempted assassination does to another fricker. As the show goes on, they go closer and closer, until they face a giant fricking dragon. Wow, it's almost like it's in the name. In an attempt to say the brave message of racism bad, the two join forces to show that humans and non-humans can work together. You can probably guess how they do this. They also hold hands pretty frequently after this moment, as they become more than just friends. Also, we are going to get season 4. And as a LEGO movie is in universe just a story made by a kid, it of course follows the mindset of a kid. As children are aesthetic twisted individuals, hand-holding is a major factor in it. Around halfway in the movie, Batman asks that one character Twitter knocks Sims over to hold hands. Somehow, Wildfire was able to resist the mother freaking Batman. At the end of the film though, she becomes most casting entities and is unable to resist the charm of Chris Pratt. I don't know how LEGO characters hold hands.
And
Higurashi is a really good anime series, however it's almost near impossible to talk about without spoiling it. There's a few notable hand-holding scenes, most notably in the end credits to Higurashi Kai, and I don't even think I can say the name of this one character without one of my friends ripping my intestines out and using them to play in accord for spoiling the show. So I'm just gonna know what I do best and shut up.
And
There's a shocking lack of hand-holding in Kirby. I assume that's also because there's a shocking lack of fingers. We do get one though, in Kirby Fighters 2. After getting yeeted yet again by the Pink Man, Midnight and Needy do the thing the video's about. Now you may say I exclude platonic relationships, only romantic ones. For that I say, play a Kirby game, they're really good.
And
Listen, when you're in a new place surrounded by strange creatures, you need a hand to hold. Granted, you always need a hand to hold, but like, shut up. In an attempt to make sure Chihiro never leaves his sight, Haru holds your hand quite frequently and spirited away. Sadly, he breaks the one rule of hand holding, letting go a lot. Special mention goes to the time where the two are falling and they hold hands. Haru turns into a dragon soon after, which is very based.
And
Hand holding is something that should only be done by adults. Hand holding is a very dangerous, powerful thing that is just too lewd for mere children. However, there are some disgusting, horrible people who allow two children to hold hands. Some disgusting, horrible people, like Mungdal. In the episode of Chowder, Mung gets banned from Gazpacho's food stand. In an attempt to get access back, he enlists help to Panini. Panini, the reward for helping? Well...
Hold my hand. Now!
You're sick. Beloved cartoon character Mungdal from the 2007 show Chowder. You're sick.
Look, everyone! We're holding hands!
And
I'm surprised there's not a lot more accidental handholds. There is one, though, on this list, and it's the most romantic show of all time, if you're talking about anything that doesn't involve Mordecai. In the episode Do Me a Solid, Ruby agrees to do a double date, ending with Eileen. They see a movie, that's apparently the only place where dates happen in fiction, and Ruby goes to get some popcorn, well, yeah. This is actually an important moment overall. It's the first time Eileen truly shows feelings for Rigby. Despite how he acts, Ruby doesn't seem completely against it either. And the relationship here in the long run really helps Rigby out as a character, and it all started with this. A great moment in what is otherwise my least favorite episode in the series.
And
Handholding isn't a recurring theme in Fire Emblem Three Houses as a whole, but in Dimitri's case specifically, he's got quite a handful, of moments. At first, he rejects Violet's hand. Later in the rain, he accepts it, even noting that the hand feels warm. There's nothing getting a strike on my channel for this video. There's also a couple other moments where they hold hands. This is actually really significant because Dimitri says if a goddess did exist, she either wouldn't offer the hand to the people, or they refuse to take it. This is important because at this point, Violet is a goddess. Dimitri got an answer to this question after all.
And
Unless you're Mr. Fantastic, you can't hold hands across like a room or anything very far. Unless you're a Chad Epic Poggers Gamer Red Pill moment where you can hold hands against galaxies! In Last Jedi, Rey and Kylo have several Discord calls between each other. In the fourth one, they both reach out to each other physically, and they can apparently feel each other while they're doing this cross-space hand-holding. Again, very epic. And I think people call this a bad movie. So I was going to clarify this was a joke, and I think this film is very mixed overall, but like, I already said I'm not going to read the comments, so just light on fire, I guess, I don't care.
And
Link and Zelda holding hands at the end of a game is pretty common, but none of them have it as good as Spirit Tracks. Throughout most of the game, Zelda is dead. Well, she's there, but as a ghost. They can't interact with the mortal realm. So when in the end she becomes a flesh bag again, and she and Link can hold hands, cinema. We should arrive dead more often, really.
and
I feel like I'm the only person on Earth who really loves Tarzan. It's a film that means a lot to me. Near the beginning of the film, Tarzan and Kala press their hands together to show the difference between them. When Tarzan meets Jane, he does the same thing, but since they're the same, they go even further. I don't have any jokes here, just a good scene.
and
I have a lot of loves. Doofenshmirtz, Kirby, Shrek, these were loves. But alongside hand-holding, one of my biggest is chameleons. And we did a whole video on it. But obviously, this has nothing to do with this video. There would never be a chameleon holding hands.
and
I said in the Godzilla knockout video, the manga Kaiju Girl Carmalise has a whole hecking lot of handholding. While it's frequent, the most notable one is in the first chapter. When Kuro kind of stumbles into a date with her crush Arata Minami, I said that wrong, she gets yelled at by a group of papa girls for being an ugly girl dating a handsome guy. I don't understand how you can call us ugly, but as a defiance, Arata holds her hand to show how much he cares. If you didn't know, feeling like affection or getting too excited will cause Kuro to slowly turn into a Godzilla-like monster. And this, well, it's enough to make her go full Kaiju. Note to self, do not hold hands with someone from Japan. They will turn into a lizard.
And
What is the best opportunity to hold hands? Is it over at dinner? Watching the entirety of the Garfield show? No, that's stupid. It's when you're fighting tigers. You just fight tigers and you just gotta... Sadly, no one ever picks up on the importance of holding hands and fighting tigers. At least until the Samurai Jack revival. Jack and Ashi are fighting a group of tigers. I think you all know what must happen. The two have been at each other's throats for a while, which makes sense since Ashi was raised to hate Jack. This is just what fighting tigers does under their fricker.
and
Hello, welcome back to Strike Refusing to Shut Up about Owl House Season 2. Losing Amity's relationship has been teased pretty much in the second Amity showed any kind of start to lose. The second season makes it even more apparent. It all culminates in the episode Knock 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 on Hootie's door, which has Hootie basically taking the role of the audience and trying to get the two to confess their feelings. It takes Hootie almost destroying the house for them to finally confess. When you stream the video, you can guess what they do immediately after confessing that they both have the big gay. And they blush. Did I mention that Owl House Season 2 is really good? Because Owl House Season 2 is really good.
and
At the start of Infinity Train Book 2, aka Craft Productions, aka the best one, Lake and Jesse have been kind of bumping heads. I mean, Lake's a very stubborn person who's looking for a purpose, hiding from the cops, and Jesse is a doormat given human form. After spending some time together and kicking a toad, it's nicer than it sounds, the two find themselves in the train with the Apex, a group of nasty rapscallions. They push Jesse too far though, and after insulting Lake due to being Dedison, that causes her number to finally reach 0. Thus letting him back into the human world. There's one problem though. Lake can't go with him, and thus, while Jesse's being sent to Brazil, he tries to take her hand, but of course, can't. In the final moments though, they do this. Jesse tries everything to become a real girl, including this fun fact is originally for kids, before eventually finding a way to get Jesse back. What will they do once they're reunited? You guessed it. Try to argue with me that this is the best season. I dare you.
and
So handling is cool, but these are just a few scenes. We need someone to take it further. We need someone to make an entire game where the entire focus is handholding. And thankfully, someone did. Iko's main mechanic is Iko holding Yoda's hand to do pretty much anything. Yoda can't do anything without Iko guiding her along. Can you say best video game?
and
So handholding is nice, but these are just a few scenes. We need someone to take it further. We need a full game where it's the entire main mechanic is handholding. And thankfully, someone did. Sounds kind of familiar. Liar Princess and the Blind Prince has a princess who's actually a wolf, and her singing attracts the prince, who immediately shows interest in her. To save him from the knowledge of finding out that she's a furry, she immediately blinds him. The rest of the game involves the two trying to find a way to cure the prince, who since he can't see, the princess has to guide him along everywhere they go. With the bonus touch, whenever they hold hands, they both blush and smile. Can you say me repeating the punchline from the last segment?
and
The original Clannad is a fine enough anime, but nothing special IMO. The sequel series Clannad After Story, though, I feel like is a great improvement. The show focuses more on the relationship between Tomoya and Nagisa. While the two are clearly interested in each other in the first series, this is the series where they actually marry, starting with a handhold, but that's not what I'm highlighting. It starts out very nice until they have a kid. What's normally a grand moment for most couples slowly turns bad quick. While the child is born healthily, Nagisa doesn't make it. All while this happens, Tomoya is there for her, holding her hand, and constantly telling her that it'll be fine and to hold on. He holds on till the end. The very end. Well, that was depressing. Can number 4 be a bit more like upbeat and happy? Well, fuck you do.
and
So, you may think you may be epic. You may think you're a big shot, but you will never be able to alter reality by holding hands. Weep. In the Loki series, there's 2 notable hand-holding scenes. The first time, Loki and Sylvie hold hands on a moon doomed to explode. This mere grasping digits causes an entire new timeline to be made. Even though it was previously established that it's impossible to make a new timeline in an apocalyptic event. According to Lightning Queen, them falling in love is enough to literally break reality. In another scene, when facing a giant creature that can destroy multiverses, Loki and Sylvie hold hands again. Suddenly, both now have all the powers of the other, including complete understanding of how those powers work. I don't think I need to explain why this is so high.
and
Tonikawa Fly With Me to the Moon might as well be called hand-holding the anime. The two leads hold hands constantly throughout the show, probably more than any other previous example combined. NASA, yes real name, describes his marriage with Tsukasa immediately after they marry as an all-you-can-grab hand-holding. I'm pretty sure it got condemned to the deepest pits of the underworld just for saying that. I'm pretty sure they hold hands at least once an episode. Best relationship in anime? Probably.
and
If Tonikawa might as well be hand-holding the anime, Wall-E literally is hand-holding the movie. The entire motivation behind Wall-E doing literally anything is to hold Eve's hand. He tries to do it several times throughout the film, every time he's shot down due to Eve's focus on her directive. Wall-E gets fricked up pretty badly throughout the film, and with every broken part, Eve slowly realizes how much he wants that hand. It finally leads to Wall-E getting crushed, and that's when Eve goes on the fritz. From now on, her goal is to save Wall-E. Stopping Otto and saving all of humanity does not matter. It's all about saving the Boxman. She rushes to get him fixed, and she does. But sadly, while Wall-E's back, he's not all there, regressing back to his factory setting. Eve does everything in an attempt to get Wall-E back normal, until she finally does the one thing Wall-E wanted all film, holding her hand. Unfortunately, it does nothing, until there's a spark, and finally, Wall-E's back. What's the very first thing he recognizes upon gaining sentience? BAM! Hand-holding. That's all this fricker wanted this entire film, and he's finally got it right at the end. He's got no face, but look at the guy. He knows this is the greatest hand-holding scene ever made. This and Toy Story 3 are generally considered the two best Pixar films, and they're the only two with hand-holding. This is not a coincidence. And there we go, 31 reasons I'm not going to heaven. Whether you have someone's hand to hold or not, hope you have a good day, and peace. Well, frick you do.
You know my price. We hold hands the whole way home.